Assalamu alaikum to everyone. So here we go with the presentation of teaching of literature.
Yes,
So,
sir.
so let's start. I hope you will not repeat the mistake which some students made yesterday, and you will do better than yesterday.
Inshallah, sir.
So here I am playing the one इस शी प्रेजेंट देखे जिसका मैं मेंशन करूंगा अगर वो मौजूद नहीं होंगी तो फिर उसके बाद सबसे आखिर मिलूंगा उनका मैं या whose presentation is this one? Namra Nawaz, is she present? Namra Nawaz. Fatma Mohammad Iqbal present. Fatma Mohammad Iqbal.
Yes, sir.
Start.
Okay, sir. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Fatima.
Speak loudly, please.
Okay, sir.
Mention your class, BS or MA. Yes, please. And those who give their presentation, they can leave the session, right? Presentation they can session को leave कर सकते हैं. Yes. Voice not coming. Voice not coming. Yes, Ms. Fatma, start please. Start please. It means I have to change it then. Who is this? Manur. Is she present?
Yes, sir. Sir, I'm present.
So start please. Manur.
Okay, sir. Assalamu alaikum to everyone. This is me, Mahanur Muhammad Yaqub. I'm from MA first semester, and today my topic is characters of. Okay, a learner. Who is learner? A learner is someone who learned or gained knowledge from his teacher or from the other one. It means that a learner who gets something from someone who is a learner. He can get from his teacher or someone who gets something from other or learn something is called learner. So next please. There are three types of learner: young, adolescent, and adult. First is young learner. Young students, especially those up to age of 9, 10, they learn different from old student, adolescent, and adult. Young learners can catch anything else easily. It means that the young learners are very fresh and they can get something very easily. Second is adolescent. Adolescent is the age of teenage. It means that it is between 13 to 19, and this is the age of learning. The learner who are young students are developing from a child into an adult or adolescent. And the third is adult. Adult can learn or more commonly a mature student. Adult is a mature student who can get things very freely, and this is the age of learning. Uh, uh, Someone who is mature and cross the age of 18 is called adult. So next please. Characteristics of a learner. The first character is discipline. Discipline is very important for each student. And if a good student, a good student is a good quality of a student. Discipline is a good quality of a student. If a student do anything in a good manner by at a time. So he called a good, or he considered a good student. So next, please. Manage relationship. A student always manage cardinal relationship not only with teacher and staff. This is a quality of a good student who does not only maintain relationship with staff or teacher. He always manage the relationship with students also. A good relationship makes students a good person. It means if a student make relationship strong, so he can consider a good person. Next, please. Ask question. A good student always asks question during the class. This is the quality of a good student. If a teacher is if a teacher is teaching something or a student is getting, if he don't get anything, so he will ask question at spot and clear the lesson uh, during the class. There is a statement, if you ask question you may seem idiot once. अगर आप एक दफा क्वेश्चन पूछेंगे तो आप एक दफा इडियट कहलाएंगे. But if you don't ask question, there are chance to you remain idiot forever. अगर आप सवाल नहीं पूछेंगे और किसी चीज को गेट नहीं कर रहे हैं और उसको स्किप कर रहे हैं तो आप हमेशा ही इडियट रहेंगे. नेक्स्ट प्लीज. Memorizing. This is the best quality of a good student who does not only memorize the thing, he always understand the thing which is he getting. Therefore, it is essential. It is essential for a good student to understand concept. If your concept is not clear, you cannot get anything easily. If you can if you clear your concept, you will remain those things which you are learning. It will remain with you a long time. So next, please. Plans are nothing. Planning is everything. It means if you plan something, so you can do that work very easily. It is very important for a student. Students have to plan the time for their studies, both morning and evening. It A good student always give proper time to his or her study and never delay or postpone at any cost. It is a quality of a good student who always plan his study time and never skip that time and never delay that thing which is he has to learn at that time. Next, please, sir. Conclusion. For a successful education along with discipline, knowledge, wisdom, and for all around development and successful future, a student must follow these characteristics. If a student follows these characteristics, so he can consider a good student. Parents need to help and see that their children inculcate these qualities and on the responsibility of nurturing them. This is a responsibility of a parent who has to look their children who are well disciplined or not.
Okay.
So if a student, yes sir.
What is the most important characteristic of a good learner?
Sir, discipline is most important because if you are well disciplined, so you can be a good student. You can consider a good student.
Human discipline is very important. Any other
Yes,
thing?
sir.
Besides discipline,
No,
any
sir.
other thing? No. Okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, sir.
So those who give their presentation can leave the session. Okay. This one. Is she present? Yeah, is Momna present?
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
are you present? Start,
Yes, sir,
please.
present.
Start.
Yes, sir. Okay. So my name is Momina Atta. I'm a first semester section B. Today my presentation topic is receptive skills. Let's start with first heading language.
Yeah,
Sir, first heading
yeah.
language. Okay.
स्लाइड को देख के
So
बात
language
करिएगा.
has, yes, sir.
Start.
Sir, next one slide, please. Okay, so language has four basic skills. These are L, S, R, W in a sequence. The development of these skills must be in their sequential order and in an integrated manner. Then only these can be best learned. Second is receptive skills. Sir, second slide, please. Okay, listening and reading are core receptive skills. They are also known as passive skills as we are receiving information by listening and reading, but not producing any information. Next is primary skills. Okay, listening and reading are known as primary skills. Thus, these must be developed first to learn properly. Next is listening skills. Okay, so it's an oral input related to audio point of view as it's related to listening. It involves a sender, a message, and a receiver. These are three main things learned by listening to appropriate models. Number one is speech, second rhythm, and third is pronunciation. Moving to the types of listening now. Okay, so there are five main types of listening. First is discriminative listening. Now, what is discriminative listening? It develops at a very early age. It doesn't involve the understanding of words, only understanding of sound that is produced. Like students in nursery or Montessori, they don't understand what poem is, but when teacher is saying and they are repeating and they are cramming, so they know the sound but not the meaning. Next is comprehensive listening. It's all about understanding the message that is being communicated, as comprehension itself means understanding. Now comprehensive listening is when we want to understand something, like intentional listening. I want to understand something, so I'm going to focus and I'll try to understand the meaning, why it's being communicated or what is being communicated. Next is critical listening, when we listen in order to judge or formulate opinion about what is said. Like sir is listening to me right now, so he will form an opinion about my presentation. So it is called critical listening, to form an opinion or to judge. Fourth is active listening, when we listen intentionally, paying full attention to the speaker and making an effort to understand the meaning. Like when we are taking class, sir is giving us online class, so I'm very active and I listen intentionally so I can understand what is being told by sir. So next is last one is passive listening, when we listen unintentionally, not paying complete attention, just hearing the statement. Like for example, if I'm doing something and my mom is calling me and I'm watching TV or just using my phone, so I'm not active at that time. So I'm a passive listener. I'm doing two things and not being focused on one thing. Next is reading skill. Let's have a look on a reading skills. Sir, reading skills, please. Okay, so it is receptive skill in written form where we don't produce any information, just reading what is already there to gain information. If I'm reading a book or anything, so I'm not producing any new information. I'm not doing anything, just what is already there. I'm reading it and trying to understand it. So there are four main types of readings. Uh, Sir, next one. Okay. So there are four main types of reading skills. Number one is loud reading. It is effective at early stage of learning. It improves pronunciation, improves memory, and gives production effect, which means it becomes long-term memory. For example, when we were young, when we were child, we used to cram poems in the classroom in nursery, Montessori, and still we remember those. Why? Because there was a production effect, which actually gave us the long-term memory. Still we remember all those poems. Second number is silent reading. It actually improves improves understanding. One can cover more content as it's a speedy process. Reading by heart helps in concentrating and making reading more meaningful. When we grow up, for example, at this level, so we don't read aloud. We try to understand. We want to cover more content in less time. So it's the best process for us and for reading. Third is intensive reading. Intensive reading is for a specific topic to find out the details. It focuses on active vocabulary that we use in daily life. It's a detailed study of a text which helps in understanding every little detail about the text. It is related to the study inside the classroom. For example, test. If sir or ma'am is telling me I'm going to take test of this topic, so I will go for intensive reading because I don't want to miss out any little detail. So that's best for in classroom activity, in classroom reading, like for test, exams, and this type of stuff. Number 4 is extensive reading. Now, what is extensive reading? Extensive reading is a non-detailed study which focuses on main points like general idea, as it's a study for pleasure. It increases passive vocabulary. What is passive vocabulary? That we don't use in daily life. Like if I'm reading a novel or a drama or anything like that, it will increase my passive vocabulary, not a daily use vocabulary. Sir, next, please.
Okay, that's enough. Now tell me,
Okay, so at the end,
what's your main topic? What is your topic?
my topic is, sir, receptive skills.
Receptive skills. So what do you think?
Sir, what is receptive skills?
What do you think? How important receptive skills are?
Sir, these are very important for teacher and student as well, because if I don't know on which level I'm teaching, or if teacher doesn't know on which level he is teaching, so it will confuse the student and teacher as well. So knowing the skill that is needed on that time, that will improve learning best.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Good. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, is this student present? Namra Nawaz present? Sana Dilshad present?
Yes, sir, I'm here.
Okay. So I'm playing year one, start.
Okay, sir.
Start, please.
Good morning, everyone. The topic I'm going to discuss about is what is syllabus, its importance, and its types. So first of all, we are going to discuss about that what is actually syllabus is. The appropriate and proper definition I've mentioned in the slides, it means that basically a syllabus is a document that outlines all the essential information about a college or university or school courses. It lists the topic you will study as well as due dates of any course, including tests, quizzes, or exams. For example, if you give a syllabus for each of us in class and read it carefully to learn about grading policies and your credit hours, everything else you need to know, that is called syllabus design. Next, we have its importance. To design a syllabus, it is very important to decide what gets taught and in what manner. For the reason, the theory of language underlying in the language teaching method will play a major role in determining. The choice of a syllabus is a major decision in language teaching, and it should be made with consciously and with as much information as possible. It is very important because it establishes an early point of contact and connection between the students and the instructors. It helps us students to assess our readiness, types of syllabus. We have 6 types of syllabuses. Number one, we have structure. Structure syllabus, it is one of which one of content, a language teaching, a collocation of one forms of structure, usually grammatical. It consists of verbs, adjectives, for example, every grammatical process we have learned about. Next, we have functional syllabuses. Sorry, national syllabuses. It is one which is content of language teaching is a connection or collection or the function that are performed when language is used or of the nation that language is used to express. Number three, we have a situational syllabus. It is one in which the content of language teaching is a collection of real or imaginary situation in which language occurs or is used. Number four, we have a skill-based syllabus. It is one in which the content of language teaching is a collection of specific abilities that may play an important part using language skills. Last, we have situational content, in which the primary purpose of skills based important to learn specific language skills. A possible secondary purpose is to develop more general competence in the language, learning one identity and information that may be available while applying the language skills. So I have done it before. All
Okay.
6 types are covered.
So, what do you think about the syllabus? Which type of syllabus is more important?
I think the task-based syllabus is more important because in task-based syllabus, teacher assign a task and we will have to do it appropriately so that we can learn more.
Which one?
Task-based syllabus.
Task-based syllabus. So, can you simply define task-based syllabus? Task-based or activities-based syllabus? Define it simply more.
Task-based syllabus specifically you and all
Why is not clear?
the students are in task-based syllabus. Teachers mostly give the students different tasks so that they can do it appropriately for learning better skills.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Faik Ali present? Faik Ali.
Yes, sir, present.
Yes, present, sir.
I'm playing your slide start.
Okay, sir.
Start.
Yes. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Faikuli. Today, my topic is importance of teacher role in the classroom. Here are 5 roles that a teacher often has to fill in order to the best educator they can be. First, planner. Sir, next, please. Sir, next, please.
Next, कर तो दिया और
First,
कौन?
planner. Prepare. Yes, sir.
Yes.
Prepare the lesson. Prepare the lesson before teaching and anticipate problems and select, design and adapt material. Second, lesson are meaningful. It's make sure lesson are meaningful. The most reason to plan it, that is ensure your student time in the classroom and worthwhile. Is the teacher you should tie to activities to specific learning objectives and connect your daily lesson to all along their units. Confidence is in the classrooms largely about having good control, armed with a plan to impart leading upon your students each day. You will achieve learning objectives more easily and will avoid those dead minutes when you stalling or thinking on the fly and your students get restless. Next, facilitator. First, provide opportunities. Provide opportunities for leading helps learner to access resources and develop learner autonomy. Second, provide resources.
Excuse me. Tell me in your own words. अपने अल्फाज में बताओ ना. You are reading from the book, I think.
नहीं सर, अपने अल्फाज में ही बता रहा हूँ सर, जो मतलब
बहुत मर आपके
तो याद किए सर, क्योंकि सर मेरी वो स्पीकिंग पावर वीक है ना, इस वजह से सर.
तो स्पीकिंग पावर क्यों वीक है, उसको तो सही करो। और दूसरा ये कि अब खुद से अपने अल्फाज में बताओ। कैरी ऑन।
Okay, sir. Teach, provide resources. Teacher must adopt a new way of teaching by imagining more open-ended discover by students. This means shifting roles from a lecturer to a facilitator who provides resources. Sir, third day, participant first discussion. In case if there any activity taking place in this class, say a debate or a group discussion. Second, teacher take part in participant. When the teacher take part in it, they are assuming the role of a participant. Interest. The interest in student and encourage them to participate more. There are chance of your outperforming them. So keep in mind to blend in with the student and give them the necessary with required. Next, sir, tutor and resources. This is the most common explaining a role. This is the most common role that a teacher takes on in a classroom when they are reading from the textbook, explaining a topic, and just doing what most teachers do in the classroom. It is a lecturing or tutoring role. High involvement of student. Observer. First pair group work activities goes around the class during individual pair and group work activities, checking, learning and providing support as necessary. Visual perceptual. The teacher use of the visual perceptual mode to gather information about the make sense of what happening as it occurs in the classroom environment. Pedagogical skill. The teacher used of pedagogical skill is emerging an important part of the teaching process that deserves attention and study in its own right. Thank you, sir. हो गया.
Okay. Which role is very important for teachers? There are many roles. Which is more important, or which is the most
सर
important
सबसे
one?
मेरे ख्याल में सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट सर फैसिलिटेटर है क्योंकि इसके अंदर टीचर जो है ना वो बच्चों को
Speak English.
सर फर्स्ट इज आई थिंक माय पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू बेस्ट इज फैसिलिटेटर बिकॉज हेयर टीचर provide opportunities to the student because that's why here student on learning or here they search they own read sir, that's why this is important facilitator.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Welcome, sir.
Nadia Ramzan. Is she present?
Yes, sir, I am present.
I am playing you one. Start, please.
Sir, Hanif Razak is also present, sir.
या जब ना आप लोगों का आएगा तो मैं बता दूंगा आपको। पुकार रहा हूँ ना आप लोग, तो सबर कर लें, देखने से भी क्या ही फायदा होगा आपको। जैसे आज नाम पुकारूंगा तो आप लोग बता दें। जिन्होंने पहले भेजे उनको मैं पहले कॉल कर रहा हूँ। यस प्लीज स्टार्ट मिस नादिया।
Good morning, sir, and everyone. I'm Nadia Ramazan. Today, my presentation topic: what is the writing and define its purpose. First of all, writing is a method of human communication
Are you BS?
that
Are
involves
you BS स्टूडेंट और MA? आप BS की स्टूडेंट हैं या MA की हैं? Are you the student of BS or
BS,
MA?
sir, section
BS.
BBS.
Yeah, BS. Right.
BS.
Carry on.
Writing is the method of human communication that involves present the language with the writing. Through writing, use the symbols,
Mostly human communication used in the symbol to convey on message. Next, sir. Uh, Purpose of writing. Writing is a method, skill, and process to explain our goals and thought. Writing and express ourselves and provide information. I will define four purposes of writing. First of all, expressive writing, informative writing, creative writing, and persuasive writing. Expressive writing, this expressive writing used to human right through express on opinion, thought through the emails, Facebook, Twitter, and social network site. And next, sir. Informative writing. This writing used to humor to use the uh, explain our thought, our opinions, and give the information detail with the any kind of topic like through essay in the audience through essay, research paper, and paragraph, and any presentation topic. And creative writing. Creative writing mostly use of writers, authors to convey our thought and our feeling. To use of literature worker as a fiction, use of fiction and non-fiction like novels, play, poem, and other poetry. To use of the writer, most creative writing. And persuasive writing. Persuasive writing used to most of serious debate to convey the message, convey the message through convey the message anybody through speech, writing articles and research papers. Thank you, sir.
That's all. What is creative
Yes, sir.
writing? What is creative? आपने
Crea-
तो स्लाइड में जब
creative
यस
creative writing, sir. Creative writing is any thought, any opinion to create a new words of the phrase, any sentence. And mostly creative writing is use of the authors, writers, and playwrights, and novelists and poetries. Use of the creative writing to create our thought and our feeling.
ओके थैंक यू
Thank you, sir.
ओके शाहिद खान
Yes, sir.
आई एम प्लेइंग योर वन
Yes, sir. I'm here.
स्टार्ट
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. I am Shahid Khan Sarlu from BS English 10th Batch B section. I'm here to present the topic creative writing. Creative means to make or bring into existence something new, and means to have create new ideas or new thoughts or new views. Definition of creative writing. It is a form of writing that are developed and reduced in writing through the use of brain. Means creative writing is a form of writing that are developed through thinking and using the power of brain, which creates new thoughts, ideas, and writing, and that is developed through the ability or power. Next, few important forms or kinds of creative writing. First is fiction writing. Fiction means imaginary, which is not real. It is a form of creative writing that involves and includes wide breadth of theme, styles, and details created by author to build imaginary world that is equivalent or more attractive and beautiful the actual or real world because they provide perfect characters. And fiction writing can that seems a real example, plays, novels. And the second is observing. Sir, you have changed the topic. Sir, first you have to open the page of kinds of different forms of the writing. Hello.
Tell about this one important few sources of creative writing. Tell about this one. इसका बता दें.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. The first is reading. Reading, as much we read, the creative power also rises, because reading is a source of main source which we achieve and do something or get information about any topic. Creative power also rises because when we aware about something, then we can create about that thing. And second is observation. After important factor is observation. All things cannot be reduced in writing. That's why we can observe around us in the surroundings, and the research of the people can be compared to the reading, because they are involved directly to watch that situation. Therefore, they have and they can get a lot. Just observe is not useful, as if we don't listen those things that are happening around us, we cannot create ideas about these things. And last one or fourth is understanding. After reading, listening, and observing, the important and essence of the is to understand the things. There are a lot of people which are reader, listener, and observer, but all of them are not uh, creators, because they don't try to understand them. And other is thinking. After understanding, we think about the view which help or aid us in creating new things. And last one is writing. The art of writing can be learned only when we practice to write. And writing is a protective mean that help us to secure our new ideas, thoughts, and creatives. Next, sir. Please, next, sir.
Yeah. This is next one. Main purposes.
The main purpose is to entertain, to share experiences, to discover new things, to provide latest information, to provide easiness over difficulties, to motivate people. First, I have to define that to entertain people. The main purpose of these are to generate methods or means for the people to entertain them. Because when we entertain them, then we can share our own ideas to the other persons with successful manner. And the second is to share experience. We can share our personal experience, how we can succeeded and how we face the difficulties.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
So your topic is creative writing. So how do you
Of
find
course, sir.
how do you find creative writing? Have you ever done creative writing?
So when we try to understand some things, and when we read about anything, then we can think about it deeply. And when we think about any topic, then we have to get ideas about it. Then we think about it and understand them. Then we can create about the ideas about the things. Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank
Thank
you.
you, sir.
Okay. Now after 15 minutes, inshallah, we'll meet.